Okay, good morning. This morning I'm going to build an outhouse over there in the woods. It's probably 30 degrees. I'm in CeeLo, and it should be fun. I've got a bunch of raw material from the lumber mill and some desire. So what else can you ask for? Show you the material. It's a bunch of skins, or what they call slabs, up here in the mountains. And then I got some basic framing material. This is mostly poplar slabs, poplar bark. And in case you're wondering, it's next to a previous excursion over there. Between these trees and such, you can see a path. And that's where it's going, right at the base of that big old poplar tree, I imagine that is. Way down there. As I zoom in, you'll be able to see roughly this dirt patch as this project progresses. Below me is an area. The footprint of this little outhouse is going to be about 4 feet by 4 feet and roughly 7 to 8 feet tall. Not very big. But the idea here is to make the ground level and put some feet in at 4 corners. In this situation, I put 1 foot on each left side and 2 feet on each right. So I have framed up the 4x4 box on the ground on a set of horses, primarily because of ease of building. I should be able to manage this moving it to the job site, which is just 10 feet over there in the woods. I've applied nailers, 2x4s across for the decking, and I built the basic structure. And this is all stuff you would be doing crawling around in the dirt. There's no need to crawl around in the dirt when you can do it all right here. And as you remember, there are some footings to receive this. So there you go, one boxed frame. And you'll note that there's primarily this area, which is the decking where you stand, and this area, which will be the waste receiving area. And this will be left open, and on the back there'll actually be a small access panel for cleanout. Okay, so it's instant building, but it's really not that complicated. You have your frame down at the bottom where we left off, and then you add your 4x4s to each corner, standing them up, bracing them. And then applying 5-foot pieces, in this situation, pieces of plywood around the perimeter. And some decking on the floor to work with. And this roof has been gently framed up. It's just got nails tacked up just to see if I like it or not. And I like it. It's got a small pitch, about 4 inches over 3 feet. So 4 feet, not bad. Start. So this morning I've attached the rafters with hangers, and they're not conventionally framed, although they're pretty close. They're about 15 inches on center, give or take. I did it for symmetry purposes. Used hurricane straps to fasten them and help hold them together in case of the wind. This is a windy little grotto. So we've decided to put tin on the roof. Structure's been framed up in the inside, and what we've got going on is pretty much just framed up the seat, 2x4s around the perimeter. Okay, well, the box has been framed. That left doing the flooring, so I used 5/4 by 6 standard decking and laid out the floor. Now I'm going to use 5/4 by 6 standard decking going up and across. So the deck is installed, screwed down. The face of the joint area is screwed down, trim board, and the deck. I'm waiting to cut out the hole when I actually have the exact seat. So cut off 3 out of the 4 chimneys, as I call them. I need 1 more cut off, but I ran out of juice. Excuse me. Although yesterday, in the rain, between the raindrops, I installed a roof, as you can see there, and it's got a slight pitch. It's green. It happens to be 2 36-inch pieces of V-groove overlapped with about a 6-inch overlap in the middle, which I left for convenience, as you can see. And I'll come in a little closer to discuss the overlap. But if you look right there, you'll see the overlap. And I figured since it was a sugar shack that I would not sweat it. So there is the roof. Okay, now this morning I am putting on some of the trim. I'm waiting on the door yet still, just because of convenience. And you can see how I've fastened limbs or small logs to the face of the 2x and rafters. I'm not trying to hide the material, I'm just trying to disguise it a little bit. Obviously you can't hide the framing and logs, but I think it does a pretty good job of disguising it. And I will continue to wrap this building with sticks and logs until it's done. But you can see how it's already starting to disappear into the background a little bit. A little bit. It's not bad, it looks good. Okay, so the upper trim is complete, and you can see it's doubled up. Kind of takes the edge off the framing, and then I put some down, some 4x4s in the corner. So we notched out the piece of pie out of the round log, and we're able to wrap the corners, all 4 of them, nice and neatly. Don't be confused by the tree there, although it's cool to be confused by the tree. And now it's just a matter of some siding. The door is on. Yeah, a little tricky, but it's done, and it shuts square. It's got a jamb and a stop, and now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna dress it up, get some siding on that thing to help it go away, and a little character. So I trimmed out the door, as you can see, and it's not done. I don't feel like it's done, but I do want you to see how the locking and working door mechanism works. So it's a pretty lever concept. You got the receiver there, the handle there, and the hinge down at that end. And it's pretty simple. You just reach forward and it hooks up on a little peg up there, and there you go. Come back. Can't get any simpler than that. There you go. And there's a wooden hinge back here, and a little wooden washer. See that down there? That's a log bit, split, round, and sealed. That should last forever. And that's a 3-inch screw in there. So there's 2 3-inch screws holding this knobby in here, and I'll tell you right now, that's pretty strong. So there you go. As you can see, there's been some siding attached and some foundation planks or band splash boards, whatever they're called. I wrapped the base with what can best be described as 3/4 board or slabs. Those are very thick slabs. It gives it that sitting on log look. And then applied siding, which is those slabs that I showed you earlier. I got more down the street, but it's more the same, and it blends in quite well. Generally I'm pleased. This punch, as I was trying to focus the camera to get this building, I was having a hard time seeing it, which is a good thing, I guess. That's what the idea was. So there she be. Can't really see it very well. The back is a hair different. I did originally design an access panel in case anything you need to get to in there. You never know, baby falls in, or cell phone, or heaven forbid a wallet, and you have to get in there. Behind that wide log, which is held on by 2 screws, just to one right there and one right there. Those 2 screws and a little bit of leverage from above hold that panel in place, and there's solid plywood behind it, and a little dirt will fall on there in a little bit, but that's an access panel, so that's why it looks a little off-centered. But I think at the end of the day it's a small price to pay for such a cool structure. Totally awesome. I think she'll love it. I know she will. I do. And that being said, we're done here. At the end of the day, there you go. Now we'll go in. I'm expecting to have something wide inside, but there it is. Just grab the lever, go up on the hook above, boom boom, grab it and pull it open. Oh, she's taking the toilet paper roll off. Well, there's the toilet seat, and right there is the toilet paper holder. And it's a simple stick, and there's the hole. So, although I didn't go step by step, I definitely completed the task at hand. Not bad. I really like it. It still needs an inside lock. There's a side view. I've seen worse.